Well, it has finally happened. Disney has taken one of their own creations, a beautiful cartoon that it made in their golden years, and remade it into a live adaptation in a greedy attempt to try and tug at your nostalgic heartstrings. Snow White was released a couple of weeks ago, and it has bombed so hard that it has forced Disney to rethink and re-strategize their entire production and release schedule going forward. Let's have a look at what happened. People have been hating on Disney for their live action, readaptation, remakes for ages now, but for some reason, they just keep on going deeper into this market, and I just don't get it. Is it cheaper to make? Is it easier to market? The public loves the early classic adaptations. So why does Disney insist on remakes instead of investing into new intellectual properties? Also, they have made a lot of remakes in the last 10 years. Some that I didn't even know about until I started doing research for this video. Tell me, did you know that they remade Peter Pan, Lady and the Tramp, or Dumbo? There was even a Mulan remake that flew so under the radar that it only made $60 million against a $200 million budget. But the Snow White remake seems to be the final nail in the proverbial coffin. From the start of production, there were loads of controversies. The very first of them was that dwarves are being portrayed in 2025. Peter Dinklage, who got famous for playing a dwarf in Game of Thrones, came out against the movie before production even started and fired against Disney, saying this.
I was a little taken back by they're very proud to cast a Latino actress as Snow White.
Yeah.
But you're still telling the story of Snow White.
Yeah.
And Seven Dwarfs.
Sure.
So you take a step back and look at what you're doing there.
Yeah.
I know. That makes no sense to me.
Well,
you're progressive in one way, but you're still making that backward story of seven dwarves living in a cave. What the are you doing, man?
So Disney freaked out and they decided not to cast any dwarves, and they decided to just cast a couple of dudes. People were then upset by that. Other actors with dwarfism, like Wee Man from Jackass, came forward and was like, don't listen to Peter Dinklage. The guy made tens of millions of dollars playing a dwarf on TV. There's barely any acting opportunities for dwarves in Hollywood today, so you want to take that away from them too? Disney just did not know where to turn, so they decided to animate them instead. Then, the film's core concept was rewritten to try and attract a bit more of a woke crowd. The original structure of the story follows the whole fairy tale, Prince Charming, damsel in distress approach, but Disney felt that this was way too outdated, so they rewrote the entire story to give Snow White more of a superhero saves the day type of approach. And all of this centralized around who is right now the most controversial movie star of the last 10 years, Rachel Zegler. Rachel got the opportunity of a lifetime. This movie's budget was like $250 million. This movie was gonna make her a superstar. But from the get-go, her behavior was super divisive. In early interviews, she would refer to the 1937 classic adaptation in pretty negative ways, calling the prince's behavior weird and stalkerish, and making these strange statements about her being a self-proclaimed narcissist.
I'm a narcissist. The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so.
Okay.
There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird.
This was her first major introduction to the public, and the public found her kind of unlikable. Behind the scenes, Rachel and co-star Gal Gadot had a huge falling out, potentially over their differing views on Israel. Gal Gadot is a former IDF instructor and very proud Israeli, while Rachel stoked controversy by tweeting "Free Palestine," in a series of posts made 24 hours after the first trailer for Snow White was released. A producer on the movie, a guy called Mark Platt, had to fly out from Los Angeles to New York City to ask Rachel to please be mindful of her social media use after she tweeted out Donald Trump after his election win. Regardless of your political opinions on these issues, you have to realize she is effectively the face of a $250 million production for a family-friendly film. It got so bad that the son of that very same producer had to respond to an Instagram comment after somebody said, "Your dad flew to New York City to reprimand a young actress? Any words on this? Because that's creepy as hell and uncalled for. People have the right to free speech, no? Shame on your father." To which he replied, "You really want to do this? Yes, my dad, the producer of an enormous piece of Disney IP with hundreds of millions of dollars on the line, had to leave his family to fly across the country to reprimand his 20-year-old employee for dragging her personal politics into the middle of promoting the movie for which she signed a multi-million-dollar contract to get paid and do publicity for." This is called adult responsibility and accountability, and her actions clearly hurt the film's box office. Free speech does not mean you're allowed to say whatever you want in your private employment without repercussions. And then, on top of all these issues, the film is just shit. It's apparently really badly written. It's apparently very sloppy, and it's kind of ugly. And the film has paid the price. It is bombing in movie theaters so hard. The movie's made like $170 million on a budget of $270 million. Now that might not sound like a big difference, but that's before marketing costs. This is effectively one of, if not Disney's biggest loss ever. They have lost so much money that all planned live future adaptations that haven't been filmed yet, like Bambi, The Aristocats, and Tangled, have been put on hold. All because this movie has done so badly. And you know what you can do to fix this, Disney? Is just stop making shitty, sloppy remakes because you think that it's a safe financial bet. Invest in new IPs. Create new stories. Look at Flow, a movie that was released last year about a stray cat whose home gets destroyed by a flood. It is visually stunning. It is incredibly well written and even won the Oscar for Best Animated Film. Just do stuff like this. People will watch it if it's good. Anyway, what do you think? Is the movie any good? If you have watched it, did you like it? What do you think? What about Disney? Do you think that Disney deserves all of their hate at the moment? And what about Rachel? Do you think that Rachel is, people are treating her too harshly? Or do you think that she kind of deserves everything that she's getting? She's put herself in that situation. Let me know in the comments. I always love to read what you guys say. But thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.